This is how Nikola Jokic went from unknown to NBA MVP. Nikola Jokic has had an incredible MVP-deserving season, carrying the Denver Nuggets to a top seed in the West. At this point, it's hard to find something about Jokic that isn't likable. Nicknamed the Joker, he's arguably one of the funniest players in the NBA, making fans both laugh and freeze in amazement with pretty much every appearance he makes on the hardwood. But how did he become such a GOAT and went from not being able to do a push-up due to being fat to an NBA MVP? See, Jokic wasn't always a top-tier player, as his story and how he became one of the most dominant centers began back in 1995 in Sombor, Serbia, a war-torn country by the time he was 4 years old. He lived with his family, his mom, dad, and his two older brothers. He hasn't ever seemed like an athlete to anyone, but he eventually found basketball through his older brothers Strahinja and Nemanja, and ended up playing professionally at the age of 17. While this might sound like a great start, a kid who found inspiration in his older brothers and went straight for the podium to get handed the MVP award, it unfortunately wasn't that simple. His coaches at Mega Basket Junior team, his professional team in Serbia, actually didn't let him practice because he was overweight. It turns out those weren't just rumors, since even Jokic himself confirmed that he used to drink 3 liters of Coke per day growing up and often had cheese pies for breakfast. The coaches weren't discriminative at first, but when his strength coach told him to do a push-up and he couldn't, they declared him as obese. At the time, he was 6'11" and over 300 pounds. And the weirdest thing is that this was all despite him playing multiple sports at the time, including basketball, soccer, and volleyball. While different sports haven't helped him lose weight, he gives them full credit for his ability to see the floor and make incredible passes. One of the most interesting sports he still continues to play to this day is water polo, which is, according to him, where his ability to throw full-court dimes has come from. After just 3 practices and a bit of weight shedding, the coaches immediately knew that they had a star on their hands. The most incredible thing about him was his willingness to pass and create for his teammates. Despite him being 6'11", with a frame so perfectly built, he could destroy anyone on the block and just bait in pick and rolls. At least that's what you'd expect from him. He was rather found on the 3-point line, trying to dissect the defense with his passing. A unique type of game for a big man, but a gem for sure. Fast forward 2 years, he found himself in the 2014 NBA draft, looking as shredded as Arnold in his prime, having muscles on top of... nope, still incredibly unathletic, and according to an NBA scout, the dude had no muscle definition whatsoever. He also said that he couldn't really jump, and no one was actually sure if he could run either. All they knew is that he's really special. Despite his physical flaws and the full book of negative stereotypes foreign players were receiving, the Denver Nuggets ended up selecting him in the 2nd round with the 42nd pick. And that was an absolute shock for Jokic. He didn't expect to make the leap to the NBA at all, at least for a few more years, and was ready to play for FC Barcelona's basketball club. After being drafted to the NBA, Barcelona wanted him to play one last time, so he came out there and scored 4 points and 3 rebounds, with no defensive effort. After that single game, Barcelona backed out of their original deal, and Denver was eventually able to convince Jokic to come work out with the team to the United States, following the end of his professional season in Serbia. Before the start of the 2015 season, he quickly shed 35 pounds of weight to be better prepared for the pace of the NBA game. Did that make him look more athletic? No, not at all. But did it help the way he moved around? Well, not even that, since they soon started laughing at him and saying that he's moving around as if he was playing in flip-flops. I'll let you be the judge for whether that's true or not. He didn't expect to have much playing time in the league at first, but that wasn't really the case, since he finished the season with 10 points, 7 rebounds, and just under 3 assists per game. He was also third in the Rookie of the Year voting and made it to the All-Rookie First team. The quiet-looking big man has been on an incredible journey since then. In just his second season in the NBA, he averaged over 16 points, almost 10 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, with almost 60% of his shots from the field making it into the basket. He ended up being the 6th in the league in field goal percentage, and what's even more impressive and kind of unbelievable, he even had a higher win share per 48 minutes than the eventual MVP Russell Westbrook. And we all know how he plays the game. I don't know about you, but to me, that was a clear sign of the great things to come. This past season, Jokic came into camp looking like an absolute Victoria's Secret model. Well, maybe not that, but he came in looking his absolute best. He lost a bunch of weight and was able to move so much better as a result. He revealed that he lost additional 25 pounds going into the season. While that didn't really make him quicker, it sure did skyrocket his energy levels and his willingness to run the floor and play both sides of the court. His defense in the past season was the best to date, and his offense on another level. During a rather hard, injury-plagued season for the Denver Nuggets, he's been dominant all season long, keeping them afloat and leading them to the heights of a top 4 seed in the powerful Western Conference. The Joker was also close to averaging a triple-double every single game, with over 26 points, almost 11 rebounds, and 8.5 assists per game, which is nothing but impressive. During his team's injuries, he's been asked to play just about every single position, and the best part is that he's a rock star at every single one of them. He was bringing the ball up the floor, running the pick and roll, and making all the best decisions in the flow of the offense. He had such a dominant campaign that he's been the favorite for the MVP since the end of last February. And many still think no player will ever deserve it more than Nikola Jokic. With every season that comes, he's more impressive, and it seems like an ever-scaling journey that just doesn't find stagnation. Just like the previous season, he's destroying the current one as well, and with his touch of magic, Jokic will be an everlasting spell.